My name is John Wagner, in case you didn't know that, and I am one of the ministry leaders of Celebrate Recovery here at Calvary Church. And I'd like to welcome you all this morning and thank you for joining us, and thank you for worshiping with us this morning. Now, if you're this is your first time at Calvary, I'd like to extend a special warm welcome to you. We're so glad that you chose to come here this morning to worship with us. And here at Calvary, we are all about joining with Jesus to transform lives. If you want to learn a little bit more about us, you can look in your bulletin, and there's a connection card in there. If you just fill that out and drop it in the offering basket when it comes by later in the service, we'd be happy to get in touch with you, to get acquainted with you, learn a little bit more about you, and hopefully you'll learn a little bit more about us. And on the back of that card is an area for prayer request. And, you can fill that out, drop it in the basket. Every week, our staff faithfully prays for every request that comes in, and we would love to pray for you. And while we're talking about prayer, at the end of the service today, up here all along the front, there'll be men and women waiting for you. So if you have something on your heart that's weighing on you that you want to pray about, please come up. We'd be honored to pray with you and for you. So thank you very much. Now, the reason I'm up here today is because, number one, I asked to come up here. Not a lot of sense, but I did ask to come up here today to talk to you a little bit about Celebrate Recovery. And the reason I want to do it now is because the current sermon series, which is entitled Fierce, Knowing the God of Exodus, seems to describe so well what we're all about at Celebrate Recovery. During this series, Pastor Ron and Pastor Oliver have been leading us and teaching us about Exodus and the God, that can help us find the answers to some of the following questions. Where's God when my back is against the wall? And why would God ever let anyone hit rock bottom? Why does God allow anyone to suffer unjustly? And do these things happen to us because we sin? And what's God's response when we turn away from Him? Well, the book of Exodus, as we're learning, teaches us about the fierce God of Israel, the fierce God who does not stand by when people are in trouble or in need, the fierce God who intervenes on behalf of all of those who are suffering and experience the heat of unjust oppression, the fierce God who goes to war for all of us against evil so that we can be free. He is the fierce God who also chooses to be with us and in a relationship with us, no matter how many obstacles there are and no matter what we do. Well, that God, the God of Exodus, is the God that we call out to at Celebrate Recovery. And in the real world, what do you do when your back's against the wall? When everything is against you, when waking up is a chore, when you don't want to face the day, when you don't know where to turn, when you struggle with just breathing sometimes, when you just want to cry out and say, hey, why me? What did I do to you? Why do I deserve this? When you want to give up. Well, the one thing we're learning from Pastor Ron and Pastor Oliver is that this fierce God doesn't want us to give up. He wants us to call out because He's waiting. He's waiting for that call. He wants to be in a relationship with us. And that's exactly what we do at Celebrate Recovery. Celebrate Recovery is a safe place where you can look for the answers to all of the things in your life that are causing you pain and keeping you away from God. Celebrate Recovery is a safe environment where we gather together and learn how to take back our lives from all of the hurts, hang-ups, and habits that cause us pain every day. And most importantly, Celebrate Recovery is a place where we can rebuild our relationship with God. And we meet right here in this building every Thursday at 7 p.m. How lucky is that, right? And there you're going to find a lot of people that are not there to ask a bunch of questions. They're not there to judge. They're there to support you as you rebuild that relationship with God and work on your hurts, hang-ups, and habits. So if you know someone, if you are that person or you know someone who is struggling like that with issues of everyday life, when you walk out today, there's a table out there with a couple of banners, say Celebrate Recovery on it, and some really nice people. Some of them will even be wearing these really cool shirts, okay? walk up to them. There's some literature there. Ask some questions, grab some literature, and give it to those people that are in need. We'll be happy to answer any questions for you. So please stop by if you can. And I'd like to thank you all for listening to me. And before we continue in worship, would you stand up and greet everyone around you? Thank you.